Jake MacDonald, Chapter 3, Segment 1 Outline. All behaviors and mental processes, even something like laughter, are caused by electrical impulses in the brain. The mind is a process going on in the brain that includes all thoughts and feelings. Things such as reasoning, interpreting stimuli, imagining, and remembering are processed by the mind. The brain is part of a large biographical system called the nervous system. Neuroscience is the study of the nervous system. The brain and nervous system are made up of neurons, or nerve cells, that are specialized to process information. The brain is made up of nearly 100 billion neurons, which use chemicals to communicate with one another. Brain cells also use electric impulses to analyze the chemical signals from neurons. The cell body, or soma, is the part of the cell that surrounds the nucleus. Neurons, unlike other cells, have long extensions branching off the cell body called dendrites. Neurons also have axons, which are single extensions from the cell body that carry nerve impulses to other cells. Axon terminals are the ends of axons that pass information to other cells. In addition to neurons, the brain is also made up of glia, or cells that regulate the strength of connections between neurons. The name of glia is Latin for glue. Neurons send electrical signals called an action potential down its axon in any branches. When the action potential arrives at the end of a branch, the axon terminal releases a chemical called a neurotransmitter to transfer information to another cell. Neurons communicate with each other at synapses, or specialized joints where the axon terminals of neurons meet. A synaptic cleft is the tiny fluid-filled gap between a neuron's axon terminal and another cell. Vesicles are microscopic spheres in a neuron that contain neurotransmitter molecules to be released into the synaptic cleft and bind briefly to the neurotransmitter receptors of another neuron. Neurotransmitters and their receptors have a specific lock and key format. There are more than 100 different chemicals that serve as neurotransmitters for the brain, such as acetylcholine, glutamate, GABA, endorphins, serotonin, norepinephrine, and dopamine. These neurotransmitters are recollected to be recycled by axon terminals through a process called reuptake. Neurons are classified into three functional groups. Motor neurons send commands to make muscles move using acetylcholine. Sensory neurons send information to the brain about physical stimuli using glutamate. Interneurons receive input and send output to other neurons. The three work together in something as simple as a reflex, or a behavior automatically triggered by a stimulation. A neural network is scattered into neurons communicating with one another to process information. During his time, René Descartes believed in dualism. Dualism states that the spirit lives within the brain and is in charge of all actions of the body. Nerve cells, like other cells, are polarized, having either a positive or negative charge. Potential difference in charge is the measure of the tendency for charged particles to move from one place to another. This is measured in volts. Neurons have membrane potential when they are not being stimulated, and this is referred to as resting potential.